Alright, doing an H-column assembly on this one. Start off by, normally you try to bring the room in as much as you can so you can get the inside bolts off. The thing's not responding at all, so I can't bring the room in by normal means, but luckily I have the room in enough to where I was able to get these bolts off the top and the bottom, and then I'll just have to like take the motors out and push it out the rest of the way. I keep a parts tray and I use this Milwaukee right angle. There's a couple different controllers down here, and this is weird. A couple other wires. I don't know why. I don't have any power. Could be a fuse, whatever. I need to do this quick because I have other appointments that I gotta make it to. Battery disconnect is on. The batteries were dead when I arrived, and all these are 10s. They should be 15s. First time I seen all 10s. And so it's saying that this is the slide fuse, and it is good, but I'm not getting any power to my controller, so I don't know. I have to deal with that later. I'm gonna have to get this thing to go out one way or another. So I'm not gonna fool around with this. Typically you could just take this and one of these should be power, one of them should be the switch. Okay, I'm gonna sort this out with this controller. Get my multimeter and see which one of those is the power and which one of those is supposed to be for the switch. These were not connected, so I would assume that these are the power, but the nope. So switch them around. One of them's a power and one of them's a switch. Okay, so it has power now. Got those hooked up. See if I can get this to go out. Okay, and it's bringing it in, so that is backwards. Rearrange that, and okay. All right, so we got that to go out some. This is the little stuff that kind of throws you off. Takes a little more time. You gotta do that. It went out some, but that one is moving more than the other. So at this point, I don't want it to get crooked. I will go ahead and put this into override. Seven. Hold down on the 7th until it flashes like so. Now it's in override, and both sides should move, and they do. Okay, so we can get it most of the way out, leave about 8 to 10 inches in, and now we can go outside. and finish working. Trying to do this quick because I got another appointment. So forgive me for going fast. All right, as you can see, now that it's out, I can reach the other screws and I can take the rest of this off. But before I do that, I need to support this with a jack and a piece of wood. So let me do that. And there's some wood here already, and I will use a piece of it to help support this side of the room. All right, I'm not so much, I'm not trying to jack it up. I'm just wanting to have enough pressure on it to where it's supported so I can freely get this bottom column out. So now I gotta take the rest of the screws out. And I'll put, so all of these are the same screws, so they can all go in here. Some of them were missing before I got here. So there's a couple of them that are missing. I have to look on the truck, see if I have some of these. I need to put 2 of them back in there so that I can bring the column out. So let's put one at the bottom. One at the top. Now I got to take all these off so I can get the column to come out. Now I need to get my harness out so that I can pull the column out. Okay. I need to get this wire harness loose so that I can hook up my connector, which this harness is all busted. Somebody kind of messed this up. And this needs to go into here. Should line up. Now I can use my 12-volt power supply to operate this to push the column out. With the motor. As you can see, by doing that, I'm able to bring it out with the existing motor. The top and the bottom, and take the whole column out. Okay. So this is the old H column. There's the sticker. If you want to order these, you need that V number. You need to be ordering it by that V number, and we'll match that up to the new ones. Okay. So this is the side that I will be needing. And The V number is 00071 000621576. So the numbers are different. Verify that the columns are the same. I'm looking at the length and everything because I noticed that the numbers are different from the existing original one and the replacement. So if I have any issues whatsoever and this thing not fitting, I know it's because the numbers are different, but they could have changed the numbers as the different model numbers and whatnot. So take the whole assembly. This part goes on the inside, so I'm gonna get close to where it's going at, and I'm going to remove the rear shipping angle, leaving the front shipping angle in place. All right, this already has a motor and everything is already in time. The only concern I have is that the V numbers are different, so let's hope it's still the right part. Take my tool and I'm gonna go ahead and move the paper backing of our little friction material from the top and the bottom. On the bottom. Do this. Okay. It's very important that this stuff line up properly. You're gonna have problems. Alright, so underneath you can see I have it jam up against the looks like somebody's changed this before. Looks like it used to have one that had the see those holes? Looks like at one point, so this thing looks like it's been changed before, and this is like the second time because I see the holes for the style. Some of these have holes under the bottom, and it looks like at some point in time this had a kit that had the holes under the bottom. Like I said, you never really get all the right information. People don't always tell you everything. So, and they might not know. So that's 53 and a half from that one. And this is 53 and 3/4. So these have to be the same. It's almost 53 and 3/4. So this is gonna have to come up, which I could see because it's not on the bottom. So let me get this up some, and this is what you have to do. You got to manipulate this until it is right. So now I got that up, getting it to the original holes, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the top, and then I'm going to measure for parallel. And it's about where this side is now too. So we are 53 and 5/8, 53 and 5/8. I see that this is parallel. There's another measurement that we take from the face to here, and it has to be 2.5 inches plus or minus 1/8 of an inch. So that'll be getting checked after I get this screwed in. So let me. And it definitely has enough to safely move this in and out. So we want to just use our tool, connect this to our motor. There we go. All right. And we're going to run the track in, let it seat. Do not force it. It should easily go all the way in. If not, then something's catching on the bottom or the top, raise or lower on the room. Do not force it. Battery hookup. Okay, as you can see, it's going to move nicely along the track. Okay. And I give the battery a rest, because normally you want to bump this. You don't want to continuously move it when a load is on it. It's not so bad when it's just this, but now it's getting close to the bottom, and I can already tell that the top is in, but the bottom looks like it is hitting. So I need to address that because it should go easily in. So I could see here where the belly is kind of like off. So I just push the room forward, a little adjustment. And now you can see that it is in and it's clearing. So I need to pull in my room the rest of the way. My track, that is, with the battery. Now that the room is adjusted, I want to pay attention to the bottom now. Okay, it's moving the room, so I'm going to have to the top is pressed tight. I'm gonna have to get the bottom in. Slight raise on the jack, and I can see that I can get it to go. So I have that here, and of course the holes don't line up from the original holes on this this track. As I said, the part numbers were different, so it's not exactly the same. But let's take a look at the other side. And I need to take measurements from left to right to get the rooms. Now, when I push this in, I'm gonna go ahead and release my jack. Because that was just supporting the room until I got these tracks on here. And as you see, it's a lot easier when I push on the room now to get it all lined up. So get the jack out of the way at that last step. I'll have to make new holes along the side because these parts are slightly different, the hole pattern. I could take a couple more measurements. I could remove my shipping angle. All right, shipping angle has been removed. And so, let's back the ladder up a bit. And let's take our measurement. I need to be at, this doesn't have measurements on both sides. I need to be at 2.5, and I am right there. I'm dead on it, 2.5 from face to face. Let's check the side that I haven't worked on and see where it's at. And it is also at 2.5. As you can see, 2.5 plus or minus 1/8 of an inch. So this is good. All right. So now I need to just move my wires to the inside and so that we can hook the normal cables up. So let's push all that back to the inside. I do need to bump the room in some before I do that though. I need to bring the room in some because it's not. Okay, that's out. And bring it back in some. Okay. Before we go any further, this needs to be set. So we're matching this side to the other side. This is 23 5/8, so this is an inch off. Yeah, this is not there yet. 23.5. I'm on the second, right above the second. 23.5, right above the second bolt. Let's go here, right above the second bolt. That's gonna be 21.5 almost. So we got an inch to go. I need to get this in 1 more inch. And on this side of the motor, that means hooking it up backwards, positive to negative, right above the second bolt. That needs to come in a lot more. Let's go from the bottom where the track is. 23. Yeah, that needs to go in a lot more. She is severely crooked. Alright, now let's see what we got. Okay, getting closer now. I have about 21 7/8. Okay. 21.5. need this one to be sitting at 21 and a half. We don't have far to go. We smooth that in a little bit more, just a tiny bit at a time. The motor can compensate for some during the programming, but I like to get it very close before I do that. I want it very close before I, at least less than a half of an inch before I try to make the motor figure it out. I like to get it pretty much dead on, because with this little tool that I made, I can, and it's easier on the system, so that's what I do. Typically that's going to be running inside that track, and there's going to be a piece of D-seal that's on it, which is the stuff that you see that's on the floor. Alright, I didn't take any of that off, and the customer will deal with that. Alright, so now it's time for me to run it in and out and see how it seals from the outside. It should be fine. Coming in. All right. I stopped it. Normally I would let it go some more because the D-seal isn't there, and I don't want to program it, the stops, to where the D-seal is not, and the caps are not on here, so don't want to flex the middle. So I'm kind of stopping it as it hits, and after they get all the other stuff on there, we can, if they need me to, I can come back and sync that up a little more. So we are closing beautifully. As you can see, I'll take a picture and send to my customer. All right, let's look on the other side. It's closing good. Okay. Now let's run it out. Keeping in mind that I'm going to stop it a bit short because the D-seal is not on there. The top D-seal is on, but the side D-seal is not on. And it's working really good. No more errors on the controller. I just need to make sure that this is up and out of the way, because like I said, there's normally a piece of track right here where this will kind of go into, and it's not here, so I kind of gotta make sure that this wire is gonna be out of the way and not get hit when the room goes all the way in. So it's kind of pushing that into the side for. all the way out. All right, and hold for 3 seconds to sink the room. Bring back in. Of course, I'm gonna stop it short when it comes in because the demold's not there and I don't want to flex the metal on the outside. I went ahead and gave it a couple seconds because I need to verify that this thing works completely. So that is all the way in. Now there is an issue of the rest of the screws, which I will be going outside now because it gets set up. Okay, the room is closing very well. Let me check on something. Yeah, I sent him the text message to schedule the appointment, and this is very well. Once the gasket is here, it will fill up that little bit of a gap. That's only because the gasket's not there. So this is awesome. This is working great. Run it back out, get out of here. Now I'm gonna run it back out. Got good clearance in between that motor, whereas before, when the room was out of adjustment, that it was rubbing against the side of the slide, and now we have good clearance. Okay, so let me put a couple more screws. Okay, we have that. Let's do the other two, and we're good.